Welcome back into another Illini Postgame show from the people who bring you No One Asked Us on a weekly basis. We are your newest and greatest Illini Postgame show. Following an 81-71 Illinois win at Nebraska. Man, I was prepared to come in here and start the show with, well, we knew we were going to have to talk about it sometime, but we didn't think it was going to come at Nebraska, expecting an Illinois loss the way they played. But they pull out the win. Get in the W column. We will break it all down. He is Logan Lee. I am Craig Choate. This is an offshoot of No One Asked Us. It is our Illini post-game show. Thank you for tuning in. Follow us on all our social media channels at No One Asked Us Pod, at Craig W. Choate, at the Logan Lee. We're on YouTube, Apple, and Spotify podcasts. Also, if you're watching us on YouTube, there's a little thumbs up button just below the video. Go ahead and click that for us. And while you're also there, there's a subscribe button right next to it. Hit that subscribe button to let you know when our latest episodes pop up. Also, if you're on Apple or Spotify, give us a rating. Give us a 5-star rating, preferably, and give us a review. That helps our popularity a little bit, I think, and helps us get out there in front of the world for everyone to hear what we have to say. If you like what you hear, share it. That's another great way to help us out. Appreciate you joining us, Logan. Appreciate you joining. How you feeling? How's your heart rate?
Better now. Woo! Woo! Yeah, it's good. Heart rate's good. Needed to get that up a little bit. So didn't really think it was going to happen on a Tuesday night in Nebraska, but alas, here we are. A win's a win though. So I'll take it however we get it.
Yeah. It's we said on the preview of our full episode that was released Sunday night, I think we both kind of landed on the somewhere between 15 to 18 point spread for this game. The Vegas line, it was 12.5 at tip, I think, opened at 13.5. Little lower obviously than we thought, and it turned out to be ended up being pretty close, but this was like a 3-point game with 2.5 minutes left. So this was a back and forth game the entire time. Running through some of the stats here. Trent Frazier, man, we're going to talk about him, but just his stat line, first of all, 29 points, 9 of 18 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, played 38 minutes, also had 5 assists. Kofi Cockburn did have a double-double, 16 and 13 with, 16 and 13. He had 4 fouls. That was the 4 there. He played 30 minutes. Jacob Grandison, 12 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds, and then no one else in double figures. Alfonso Plummer with 9, Omar Payne with 8, who we'll talk about in a little bit. Coleman Hawkins had 4 big points. DeMonte Williams had 3 points. Nebraska was led by Bryce McGowan. He had 19, 2 really impressive dunks, one late in the game. 5-star freshman for them, was outstanding. And then Alonzo Verge had 14 points, and don't know his first name, but Walker, their big man, had 14 points, did a really good job on Kofi tonight. Some team stats. We always talk about rebounds. Illinois did win the rebounding battle 42-31, but it was close. I think Illinois had to pull it away in the second half because that was a close battle in the first half. Illinois shot 47% from the field, Nebraska 46%. Illinois shot 37% from 3, 7 of 19. This is where Nebraska made it close. They shot 50%. They were 6 of 12 from 3. They were 4 of 4 to start the game, and that kind of set the tone, got them out to their big lead, but then they only went, 2 of 8 from there on out. Bad night at the free throw line, 12 of 19 for the Illini, kind of kept Nebraska in it. Nothing else really sticks out to me. The biggest lead for Illinois was 10. So at the end of the game, Nebraska's biggest lead was 12 with 15:59 left in the first half. It was 16-4. So yeah, that's kind of the rundown there of the stats. This was a game that Nebraska came out and punched Illinois in the mouth early. They, like I just said, 16-9 at one point. It was 19-10 about midway through the first half. Then Illinois goes on a huge run and gets, I think it was an 18-4 run or something like that, and gets a pretty big lead, a 6, 7, 8-point lead. But then, like I talk about every episode, the end of the first half, Illinois just coasts. They stop attacking, and everything just goes stagnant. And Nebraska went into halftime with a 3-point lead. Should have taken notes, but I didn't. So I'm just kind of going off the cuff here. Anything else stick out to you from there?
I've hardly talked in the first 5 minutes of this show, so you're doing great. I mean, whatever notes you did or didn't take, just keep going, man.
I don't
Just keep
remember what
going.
happened to start the second half. So that's where you're coming in here.
No, well, I was going to comment on the first half because
Okay.
there was a point where, first off, Illinois didn't even have a lead in this game until the 8:45 mark, I think, in the first half.
Is that true?
In
the first half, yes.
In the first half, yes. But then they, as you talked about, they do go up. They do go on that big run. And I said to myself at like the 5 minutes, with like 5 minutes to go in the first half, Illinois was up like 5 or 6 points. And I said, keep this going. Get up 10 at halftime, and then just kind of, build on that. And as soon as I said that, again, to myself, it was like the world ended. As you talked about, they just stop attacking, and they just look lost in those last 4 to 5 minutes of every first half. It's super frustrating. In terms of the second half, I mean, it wasn't great. It honestly wasn't great all around. There wasn't a lot of bright spots for this team in general.
34-31 at half. It was tied at 47 with 12:45 left, and Nebraska never got the lead back. But it was always like a 2 or 3 point game until 3 minutes left. Yeah, 3 minutes left.
Yeah.
Omar had the alley-oop to put us up by 4, and then it with a couple threes and points later. So yeah, until the 4 minute mark, 3 minute mark, this game was like a one possession game for the whole second half.
This was a good team playing a bad game against a really bad team and still coming out with a 10-point victory.
I mean, this is the definition of live by the 3, die by the 3.
Yeah.
Illinois didn't die, but they were on their deathbed.
They
couldn't majority of this game.
Yeah, they were taking a lot of shots and missing a lot of shots. And I was worried that was going to end them. But it didn't. I mean, they survived it. But Plummer, I mean, you went over the box score. Alfonso Plummer hit 1 3. Yep. Jacob Grandison hit 2 threes. So the two of them combined for just, 3 made 3-pointers. Trent did hit 3. A couple of them are pretty clutch down the stretch.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not the same team we've seen the last, several games. What are they were on a 9 out of 10 run or something like that. This is not the same team that was beating teams by 20 some points the last few weeks. But it's a road win in the Big Ten, and they're all going to be difficult. Yeah. Even Nebraska, who has yet to win a conference game, and has yet to win a game against a high major opponent, I believe.
Yes, 0-10.
But still, it's a win. It's a road win. You got to build off of that because you got a couple big ones coming up.
Yep, Illinois started the season 2-2 with the win. They are now 12-3, 5-0 in the Big Ten. First time Illinois has been 5-0 in the Big Ten since the heralded 2005 national runner-up team. So anytime you're in the same conversation with that team, it's a good thing. This being the 5-0 start in the Big Ten. Let me look at the standings real quick. Michigan State is still undefeated in the Big Ten as well, but I think they're 4-0. My internet is being slow.
They are, because they got postponed against Michigan. That was supposed to be their 5th game.
Okay. So many conferences. Yes. Michigan State is 4-0. Illinois is 5-0. Ohio
Minnesota,
State and Wisconsin 4-1. They're playing right
Minnesota, no, tomorrow.
Okay.
On Wednesday.
Gotcha. All right. So I think there are a couple of big takeaways, and we're going to start with Trent Frazier. 29 points, 9 of 18 from the field, 3 of 6 from 3, 8 of 10 from the free throw line, 5 assists in 38 minutes. A couple of post games ago, I don't know if it was the last game or not, that he played all 40. Was it the Maryland game or was it Minnesota game? He played all 40.
I think it was the most recent game.
So Maryland. He played all 40. Dude is just an absolute gamer. That's the tweet that I just put out. He is an absolute gamer. He comes in. I don't know how many? Let's split it up by half here. He had 9 points at half. So he had 20 points in the second half, 5 of 8 from the field, 2 of 2 from 3, 8 out of 9 from the free throw line. Played all 20 minutes of the second half. Didn't leave the floor in the second half. He will do whatever you ask him to do because all of that is on top of guarding the other team's best player. I don't have a full box score here. I'm sure he had 3 steals at least. He had 4 steals. 4 steals tonight. His defense, he doesn't get enough recognition. Everyone wants him to be Big Ten Defensive Player of the Year, National Defensive Player of the Year. He's probably not going to win it because no one talks about him, but he probably deserves it. And I'll say this because apparently I kind of stole it from Logan. My tweet was...
You didn't steal it from me, but go on.
My tweet about Trent, and I've kind of thought it, but was waiting to... I don't know why I didn't put it out there. I was kind of waiting for the show or the right moment. But yeah, Ayo Dosunmu is the face of this Illini rebuild that Brad Underwood has brought on. But Trent deserves just as much praise, if not more, than Ayo. Because Trent came in, committed as a freshman, stuck with Underwood through the coaching change, came in. He had to be the guy. I think he was the leading scorer, maybe second leading scorer his freshman year. I think second behind
It was
LaRock.
him and Georgie. Him and Georgie was Georgie the second year?
LaRon. I think it was LaRon Black.
Oh, it might have been LaRon Bro. Either way, yes, Trent was the guy.
Yes.
I mean, he was like Big Ten all freshman team.
Yes, and scoring, that's what he does, hitting threes. Everyone loved him. And then this guy named Ayo Dosunmu comes in, 5-star recruit from Chicago, alpha dog comes in. Trent's like, okay, I'm going to take a backseat to him. His freshman year, he was a defensive liability. He was not good defensively. His sophomore year, he came in, he completely did a 180, changed his entire thought process, became a team player, and now he could be the defensive Big Ten Player of the Year, National Player of the Year, on top of leading the team to victory, 29 points in a game when Ayo is no longer here. The dude just gets it and is exactly what you want to build a program around.
I would like you to find the tape. There were several times before this season started on this show that I said Trent Frazier was going to need to be the guy for this team. We didn't know the Kofi Cockburn situation. But even after we knew Kofi was coming back, the debate was who's going to be you're not going to replace Ayo. We knew that. We knew that nobody was going to be the same type of player that Ayo was, but who was going to step up and be the go-to point scorer when you need those buckets? I said it was Trent Frazier. I said it multiple times on this show, and he's showing that, I mean, I wasn't wrong. I mean, he is the guy when this team needs points. He's not Ayo Dosunmu, but 29 points in a win like this, I mean, it's huge. Nobody else around him was really doing much. Kofi looked exhausted. I don't know what was going on there. Yeah. We'll talk about the Kofi thing, but he had a ho-hum double-double, but I mean, he was just drained.
Yeah. And
yes, Jake did hit 12 points. Plummer had 9, but I mean, those guys have been putting up 20 some points the last few nights. These guys aren't hitting buckets. I mean, Trent had to carry this team on his back to this win. Curbelo was getting a lot of the preseason attention, rightfully so. He was the reigning 6th man of the year. This razzle dazzle point guard, going to be a great pick and roll combination with Kofi Cockburn. I understand that, but at the end of the day, this team does have 2 all Big Ten players at least, and Trent Frazier is one of them. I would have said that before the season started, and I'm going to say it now. Jake Grandison might get some love if Curbelo comes back and does a lot. Probably not. At that point, he probably won't play enough games. Maybe Plummer, but I mean, in my eyes, you have a first team all Big Ten, if not a first team all American in Kofi Cockburn, and you have Trent Frazier, who I think certainly belongs in those conversations too.
Yep. I will agree. He's probably going to be I don't know if he'll be the second leading scorer because Plummer he'll put up some 27, 28 point games as well. But yeah, Trent definitely deserves more credit than he is getting. So let's try and give that to him.
I know you have to factor in the 5th year, but he's going to end up being amongst the top point scorers in school history. Again, you can put an asterisk there if you want it, but like it is what it is. I mean, he's going to be,
Yeah.
he's already, I think, close to the top 10 if he's not already there in
Yep,
school
I believe
history.
so.
So,
Yep.
I mean, he is that good. And as you talked about, he transformed his game multiple times. He was the scorer as a freshman, took the back seat, was the defensive stopper, hit the threes, was the 3-point shooter, defensive stopper, that type of player for 3 years. And then when they needed somebody to step up and carry the offense, it was him again. So happy to see it. Glad they have it. Because at times the rest of the team looks clueless.
Yeah. Props to DeMonte as well. On a lesser scale, DeMonte's the same thing. He obviously doesn't put up the numbers. He had 3 points tonight. I think he probably averages like 2.2 a game. But he's just a glue guy. So props to him as well for building this culture back up to Brad standards and Illinois standards. Next thing, and we're going to lump this together. We talked about Kofi. He did get a double-double, 16 and 13, played 30 minutes, but we're going to lump that with Omar Payne because Omar Payne came in. He only played 10 minutes. He ended up playing 10 minutes. He had 8 points, which is an Illini career high, 2 of 3 from the field, 4 of 4 from the free throw line, which surprises me. Also had 5 rebounds and 4 blocks. Omar Payne coming out party tonight.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, Kofi was gassed. He could barely get up and down the floor with 6 minutes left in the game. Under 4 media timeout comes, and Brad leaves him on the bench, brings Omar in, probably just to get him a minute or two, and then bring him back in with under 2 minutes left to close out the game. But Omar comes in, gets 3 rebounds, 2 blocks, and scores 4 points in the last 2 minutes, in the first 2 minutes he's in at that time. And at that point, you can't take him out. He's playing well. He's hitting free throws. Kofi's a free throw liability. And Omar Payne wins this game for Illinois, closes this game for Illinois. Trent Frazier won it. Omar Payne closed it.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming.
No, we've been waiting for this. Omar Payne came into this program thinking he was going to have a chance to, be a starter. Without Kofi. Then obviously Kofi comes back and Omar's forced to take a back seat. Hasn't really shown a lot up to this point. He's usually good for a block shot into the bleachers once a game. He'll get you a couple rebounds. He has not scored much at all. And he's struggled to even catch the ball when it comes his way. But something clicked tonight, and the two of them combined to, put up 24 points and grab 18 rebounds and had 5 blocks if you combine the two. And I mean, that if you get that every game from here on out, that'd be great. I know that's likely not going to happen, but we can only hope that this is kind of as you said, a coming out party for him, because they could sure stand to have somebody like that so that Kofi doesn't have to be that guy for all 40 minutes of these games.
Yep. So obviously, he got a lot more minutes the first 3 games because of Kofi's suspension. He played 17 in the opener, only 6 against Arkansas State, but he did play 21 minutes against Marquette, had 7 points, 5 rebounds there. But then his minutes took a nosedive, and he only had double-digit minutes against Rutgers, which is a game that Illinois won by 25. And then he had 12 against Minnesota, a game they won by 26. Then 5 against Maryland, and he hit a bucket against Maryland. That bucket he hit against Maryland was his first field goal since the Marquette game.
Yikes.
And now he has this. So this is a game that he needed massively to get some confidence and get some momentum. Because I had the thought early in the game, Kofi was doing his thing early, and I think he had a couple of early buckets. And I just had the thought again of when Kofi's not on the floor, how bad Illinois' offense is. I'm like, okay, eventually Kofi's going to be in foul trouble in the second half of a close game. What's going to happen? So this gives a little bit of confidence knowing that Omar can do some things, but I don't think he's someone that you can count on consistently. If Kofi gets hurt, God forbid, this team could be in trouble.
Yeah.
As any team would when they lose an All-American. But it was good to see Omar Payne put up 10 minutes, 8 points, 4 blocks. early in the game, he came in and had a block and a rebound. And I said, that's exactly what Omar does well. I love his defense. I love him on the glass, but that's about it. He looks uncoordinated and lost offensively. So maybe they're getting some of those things ironed out.
We can hope. I like what I saw tonight. I'm not sure that we can count on that offensively on a consistent basis, but as you said, it's nice to know that that's a possibility for that to happen in some games. If something happens to Kofi, then the whole team is screwed. But just to know that they at least have somebody on the bench that's capable of getting some minutes was definitely nice to see that tonight.
And then something that I wanted to bring up, because I thought of this midway through the second half, and it kind of changed because Brad did take Kofi out and Omar played the last 4 minutes. So when you look at the box score, you got Coleman Hawkins with 12 minutes and Omar Payne with 10 minutes, but you have 5 guys with 30 or more minutes. Where's the depth? Why aren't we seeing 5 or 6 minutes from Verdonk or Goody? I guess Goody is here. Goody had 6, or Melendez. That's why Kofi's gassed. Kofi played 18 minutes in the first half. There's no need for your starters. 16, I'm sorry. I don't think there's any need for your starters to play more than 15 minutes in the first half, especially against a Nebraska team.
I don't think he was ever comfortable. I don't think Illinois was ever at any point in this game in enough of a driver's seat for Brad to feel comfortable enough to go to the bench. I mean, Pajimski and Goody each played about 5 minutes in the first half. That was it. I mean, I thought this team was going to have some more depth than it has. Obviously, there's right now they're really playing about 7 deep with a couple other guys picking up a few minutes. There's an 8th player sitting on the bench still that we're not sure when we're going to see him again. True. So that'll help you a little bit. But I don't think that he was comfortable enough. I mean, the way this game started, yes, Illinois went on a big run in the first half, but a couple of those players were seeing the floor at that time. But I don't know that Brad ever felt super comfortable enough to do that. Even in the second half, there wasn't really a point. I mean, this was a 10-point final game, but it wasn't a 10-point game until the very end. Yeah. So I don't know. Yes, I would love to see you get some other guys in there and give Kofi more of a breather and Trent more of a breather and everything else. But like when you're struggling against Nebraska, I mean, I don't know where you do that. I mean, you have to be able to sprinkle them in somewhere, but I think that's got to be going through his mind. It's just he just wasn't comfortable enough to do it because we haven't really seen a lot out of these. We haven't seen Melendez in weeks. I mean, that dude started a game early in the season and had like a really nice couple of days, and then he's been gone. I don't know. I think at one point he was sick or injured or something, but I mean, we thought this team was going to have depth, but we haven't had Curbelo in weeks, and I'm not sure when we'll have him again. Hutcherson played about 3 games, and he's gone for the rest of the season. So, I mean, that's 8 and 9 of your depth.
The last game that Melendez played that wasn't a 20-point game was Arizona a month ago.
I don't know what's going on there. And then, I mean, Pajinski hadn't played at all until the last few games. He's taken minutes. Yeah. I don't know. Brad's obviously still trying to work out some of his rotational things. But the last couple of games, he's really counted on these guys to log a lot of minutes. I mean, Kofi only played 30, which compared to Trent and Jacob and DeMonte wasn't as much. Yeah. I don't know. There just must be some confidence issues there that he doesn't want to dig too deep into the bench if they're struggling to get control of the game.
Something too that I was thinking about. Did you see the Curbelo free throw lane?
Yeah.
I don't even know what to call it. Trent was shooting a free throw in the second half, and after the free throw, Curbelo, you just see jump up off the bench and start screaming and pointing, which I saw it happen. I knew exactly what he was talking about, but I think I saw you retweet the field pass or whoever it was, point out what it was. I forgot his name. I got it right here. Tominaga.
Yeah.
Casey Tominaga from Nebraska was the top guy on the lane while Trent was shooting his free throw, and he stuck his hand out to block it as Trent shot it. And Curbelo like jumped up and started running. Underwood had to calm him down. I saw it happen, and I was like, he's got a point. Like,
he absolutely had a point.
He's got to be careful though.
Yes.
Because later in the game, the errant pass ended up in his hands and he shot a 3 from the bench. I'm like, dude, you're going to get teed up from the bench.
Your All-American point guard who hasn't played a game in weeks that's going to get a technical foul. He's not careful.
Someone tweeted, man, Curbelo's making mistakes even when he's not dressed. It's impressive. Or making bad decisions or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else from tonight?
No, I mean, we probably should bring up the Curbelo thing. I know Brad had mentioned yesterday. I think he was asked what the status was of him because we had talked in our preview show, I think, that, we thought this was a game that we might see him a little bit.
Yeah.
Because it sounded like he was starting to work out a little bit with the team and working in some 5-on-5 stuff. So we thought maybe we might see him for a few minutes tonight. And Brad was asked about that on Monday, I believe. And he said that there was a minor setback with Curbelo's progress. So he hasn't really returned to full contact practice type of stuff yet. So still not sure when that's happening. But this team has played well without him. I don't want to jinx anything, but God, they could still use a point guard.
Yeah, for sure.
I mean, I don't know. We talk about it every day, and I don't know when we're ever going to see him play again. But they could sure use it.
Yeah, no doubt.
They could definitely use it. This schedule is going to get a lot more difficult real quick. Yep. I mean, yes, they are 5-0 in the Big Ten, but you haven't really played much yet. Let's see the standings in the Big Ten. I just had that up because I wanted to look at that. Illinois is 5-0 in the Big Ten.
Big Ten schedule has been super easy.
But to this point, they have played. Here I am struggling to find it too. Their wins are against Nebraska, who is 0-6 in the conference, Maryland, who is 0-4 in the conference, Iowa, who is 1-3 in the conference, Minnesota, who is 1-3 in the conference, and then Rutgers, who is 3-2 in the conference. So yes, they are 5-0, but it's not exactly like they've played the rough part of their schedule yet. So that will pick up.
Yeah,
so they're going to
just looking at
get
it,
something together.
Just quickly glancing through the schedule, there's still 10 games there that they could easily lose.
Oh yeah, for sure.
They could end the season 10-10 in the Big Ten. Yeah. Will it happen? I don't think so, but this season is by no means locked up. Moving on though to the schedule, the next game, Friday night, 9:00 Eastern against Michigan. The Michigan, of course, canceled their game tonight against Purdue, postponed these games. Their Michigan State game from Saturday because of the COVID pause. There was an article today saying they are expecting to play this game Friday. Now, that's not in stone. I don't think we'll know until Friday afternoon, if this game is going to be played. But as of now, Michigan plans to play in Champaign Friday night at 9:00. So what do you think? Are you more scared, less scared? How do you feel about facing Michigan coming off of a break? And Illinois coming off of this performance at Nebraska.
Okay. I didn't mention this in the show already, but I'll say it now. As frustrating and as much as that was an anxiety-inducing game, I never really lost confidence that they weren't going to win this game tonight. I'll be honest. Yeah. I don't know how you felt.
About the 4-minute media timeout at the end of the game, second half, I was pretty nervous. Maybe
I was just too naive.
Mainly it was because I did hop on the Illinois -5.5 live line when they were down 19-10.
I didn't think you could gamble in your state.
I found a workaround.
Happy for you.
First bet I've placed in 5 months, so I'm happy to Happy with this W.
Just in time for football season to be over. So I wasn't ever waving. I didn't ever think they weren't going to win this game. That was probably dumb of me. I probably should have been a little less confident than that, but I wasn't. I think they'll be fine. I think they will be fine against Michigan. I think they will get it together. This team just didn't hit shots tonight. I think that was the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I mean, they counted on Plummer and Grandison to hit threes and, put up 15 to 20 points each a game. And that hasn't happened. So Trent had to do it all. I mean, obviously Kofi was there too. I can't take anything away from him, but I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be fired up to play Michigan at home on a Friday night. I have very little I shouldn't say that. I don't have a lot of concern over that game. The following game, obviously, is going to be I think will be a little tougher. But who knows? It could also be the other way around. They could also lay an egg against Michigan and come out and beat Purdue by 15 points. That wouldn't shock me either. Yeah. So we'll have to see. I think a 1-1 stretch this weekend, this Friday, Monday would be great. I'd be perfectly happy with a 1-1 stretch. But I think they should certainly start it off positively on Friday night.
Yeah. Michigan always concerns me, even when they're 7-6, even when they're having the year they're having. Michigan is going to concern me as long as they have the talent that they have.
They do have talent.
I'm with you. Back at home in the comfortability of your own bed, your own gym, your own surroundings. It should lean Illinois' way, and they should bounce back pretty good. I'm expecting a good game, close game. I'm not saying Illinois is going to blow Michigan out by any means, but I do expect Illinois to be back on track on Friday night. Again, Friday night, 9:00 p.m. Eastern time on FS1 for those that want to watch. One other game in the Big Ten tonight, Penn State beats Rutgers 66-49 in Happy Valley. And then, of course, Purdue and Michigan was postponed. There are no longer any undefeated teams in Division I basketball. This afternoon, I watched USC and Stanford got moved to an afternoon game because of not COVID protocols. I don't even know what it's called. Restrictions. Fans were not allowed to attend the game at Stanford. It was only friends and family. So very much like last year's attendance rules. And Stanford knocked off USC 75-69 to give USC their first loss. And then Texas Tech beats Baylor at Baylor 65-63 to knock them from the undefeated ranks. Good one in Alabama going on right now. Auburn is up 4 on Alabama with less than 20 seconds left. Kentucky beat Vandy 78-66. Kansas beat Iowa State by 1, 62-61. And Texas beat Oklahoma 66-52. The only other ranked game, Tennessee beat South Carolina by 20, 66-46. So that's a look at the scores from around the Big Ten and around the country. All right. Anything else, Mr. Logan Lee?
No, you did great. You did great running the ship tonight. I was going to see about maybe submitting this to the Academy to be my submission to be the host of the Oscars. But you kind of stole the show from me, so it's fine.
It's fine. When's it due? Do you want to run Fridays?
We'll submit it for you, and you can just have me come up and be your Brian Dunkelman to your Ryan Seacrest if you're familiar with early 2000s American Idol.
That's funny you referenced that because I saw Seacrest on something, or maybe I was driving somewhere and was listening to his Sirius show or something. And the thought popped in my head. I was like, who was the guy that co-hosted American Idol with him? Season 1. And for the life of me, I could not remember that name. So that's funny that you brought that up today.
I am your Brian Dunkelman.
I did kind of go on a 5-minute filibuster there to start the show.
You did,
but
it's fine. I didn't have anything to say.
Kind of get going. I was going through the basics here. So
you're doing great.
All right. If we don't have anything else, we will close up for tonight. Again, Illinois wins 81-71 at Nebraska, a place that Illinois has not played very well. So to walk out of that place with a win is good. I think they're 3-4 now in Pinnacle Bank Arena. So yeah, Illinois wins by 10, move to 12-3 overall, 5-0 in the conference, back in action again Friday night, 9 p.m. Eastern time on FS1. For Logan Lee, I'm Craig Choate. We'll see you again Friday night for another Illini postgame show.
R.I.P. Bob Saget. I'm going to go watch some Full House now. Bye.